Hi everyone, Brian Hotzek here with NCSI. Today I want to talk about our lines of business inside of the Neurons for ITSM product. What do I mean by lines of business? Well, everyone talks about ITSM systems, right? IT service management. But really, Neurons for ITSM is an enterprise service management tool. It does more than just IT. So lines of business are things like HR, facilities, GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, and so forth. We've got several that are really able to enhance the portfolio outside of the IT ecosystem. Really, pretty much anything that is a business process, we can help take care of. Someone has a clogged toilet, right? Isn't that just a facilities incident? That's what we would call that. Now, we might want to change some of the terminology. We use things like work order because that's what the facilities department is used to. So we just change our logic a little bit, but otherwise it's pretty much the same thing, right? We've got to keep a list of all the things that our users need help with. They have requests and things that need to go through a workflow. So it's just a different perspective on it. I find it very helpful as well because it helps us bridge a gap between our different departments. There's plenty of workflows that need multiple departments. Onboarding and offboarding are great examples of that. Facilities need to be part of the equation. They've got to give them a desk, maybe provide them with a chair, maybe a key card to get into the building. Wouldn't it be great to have facilities have an entire ecosystem for that? So today we're going to break down how you use facilities inside of Neurons for ITSM. Let's go take a look at it. All right, so here we are logged into Neurons for ITSM. Currently, I'm on the role of admin. I'm going to see a lot of ITSM function, incident and problem and change. But let's go switch over. Let's go switch over to our facilities role, and we're going to go and hide the things that don't matter to facilities. Facilities doesn't care about change management or incident or problem, things like that. You can see up here at the top now we're focusing on what they care about: work orders, facilities requests, even things like preventative maintenance. So let's go and take a look at a work order. So this, you can see, it's kind of similar to the way that we would maybe do incident management, but there are some differences associated with it. Oftentimes we might trigger a work order that comes from another component. Like for example here, I've got a bunch that were created from a parent work order. I can understand a little bit more about the details. Some of those same elements that we use in incident management are going to be there. Look, I still understand about VIP and things like that, but we're going to bring a lot more into the equation here. With facilities, they need to understand a lot more, like exactly what floor are they on? What is their room type? Maybe even down to like their cubicle number that they are in. So the forms are going to look different. It's going to focus on what facilities people are going to care about. You can see we have some of those same elements around service and category. We have SLAs associated with it, how quickly we have to respond to it. So there are plenty of shared components inside of the ecosystem that we're going to really benefit from. There's some interesting aspects here like confidential. Sometimes we have confidential information. Maybe we need to have a desk cleared out at a certain time, or, we just don't need other people looking into it. When I check that box, a brand new tab shows up here down at the bottom where I can link confidential participants. These people that I add to this list are the only people that are going to be able to see what's going on with this particular work order. You can see I have it connected to a parent work order. This is coming from some upstream thing is causing this to be created. Maybe that was from preventative maintenance or some bigger project, something like that. Maybe it goes and fires off a checklist where I've got to go, check on the HVAC output, and then I've got to, do some function as part of it. It can connect to any other kind of module that we are talking about. Here I can do the same kind of things of, locating an attachment or linking over to an asset. We have access to all of the assets that are facilities related assets, right? My silent diesel generator here, the 11,000 kVA, that is a asset owned by the facilities department. So, maybe I want to go and link that and have they be part of this particular work order. I can go and assign tasks just like I can in the rest of the tool. Facilities requests are the same thing, except, going down the request path, right? So this is something that follows a more, formulaic or more workflow-driven ecosystem. For example, here I've got a reservation request that has come in. I've had a user come back and say they want to reserve a room, like maybe a conference room or a space, something like that. And I have received that request from them. It tells me all the details about it. I can understand more about the kind of workflow that kicks in or their approvals associated with it, things like that. Let's jump over real quick and see what our users see. Here, if I log into self-service and have our users go into the facility services section here, remember we can break out our self-service and have it show up more independently, but really that's just a grouping. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see I can say show me my facilities or HR or IT, things like that. So here's some sample things that they might want to request. Maybe they need to move. I need to move an employee from one location to another. I want to create a workflow for that. Escalator servicing, HVAC clean and repair filters, things like that. Well, some of these that are going to be in here would be for, request for an actual space or something like that. So I could go in and click on that. I'm going to click on this facilities reservation here. It's going to ask me different stuff, like, what is the location that we're going to be doing this at? Now, if you've seen this before, you know that we're going to share these locations. We don't have to go and create them on our own. We're just going to use a validation list for this. So when we build a new office building, we don't have to go and have everyone recreate the request offerings. We can just upload it in one space, and all of the request offerings are going to focus on that. So, maybe I want to say I want to reverse something in my North America, USA, Chicago office, specifically the Marigold main building, specifically the corporate offices. Notice that, location, building, floor. Again, we keep going down that path down to even, the cubicle level if necessary. In this example, I want to reserve it, next week at a certain time frame. So here I've got a start time and an end time. And what kind of room am I asking for? I need a big conference room. Something that's going to hit, 10 different people in that conference room. And specifically, I want the Golden Flower conference room. That's really what I'm after here. You can see maybe you've got a seating arrangement, a specific place that you want that set up. Do you need catering? Do we need to bring in food for this? This is just a sample form to get you thinking about how you can ask for different questions from our users. In our example over here, again, that kind of price sheet thing that we can do as part of a request offering. Maybe because I asked for catering, a workflow is going to get kicked off around having an approval. You saw that right here. I am waiting for an approval for this from these different people because I maybe checked that catering box. So we can ask whatever kind of questions you want. These are just our sample questions. Do you need a projector? Is there a conference phone, etc.? You're going to put your questions that you're going to put in this particular form, and then the workflow gets created on the back end behind that. We could do things like show those up on the facilities calendar and represent what events we have coming up or the things that facilities needs to do. There's plenty of smaller different components that are inside of this around maintenance and being able to not reserve rooms as well. Preventative maintenance is kind of an interesting thing. We don't do this a lot in IT, but things that need to happen on a regular basis, we can kind of keep track of, right? So here's an example where I've got an HVAC system, and that HVAC system, we want to say that every 1 year, I want to go and lubricate the HVAC pump. So I'm going to go and set this schedule to active. I'm going to pick the time. I'm going to say when it's going to go and recur, in this case, every 1 year on July the 18th. And then what's going to happen is it's going to spawn those work orders. We don't have to remember to go lubricate the HVAC pumps. We're just going to push this button, and it's going to automatically create that schedule for our users. So again, this is just a different perspective, a different view into a business process. And this example, facilities, being able to track those work orders, those facilities requests, and have it all be inside of a shared ecosystem. Okay, so that was just a really quick run through on the facilities module inside of our line of business for Neurons for ITSM. That was meant just to get you a quick taste of what's going on with it. If you want to know more, please hit us up. I'd love to give you a personalized demonstration to talk about how it can interact with your different systems and how you could use it for your organization. Thanks for watching.